analytics. So max theoretical t-shirt. So you guys probably know Ninad. I don't know if everybody pronounces it the same way. Finn Bear might, one of the guys in our chat, one of our admins. Anyways,
Okay.
we were talking one day in the chat about this, and he says, there's something called the max theoretical t-shirt. And then I kind of remembered that was true, and he put me over to Hexonomics for hexicons.info, and you can get to it from this link here. And so basically, what is this? It's the theoretical maximum number of T-shares that could exist, right? So that's what we're talking about. And the way you get to that maximum is by looking at all of the hex that, in theory, could be used today to make a stake. So what is all the hex that's available today to make a stake? And that would be all of the circulating hex. And if you staked all of it at one time, it would get a longer pays better for Quattro Cinco, and the bigger pays better for whatever the maximum is. And you would come up with X number of T shares that could be created right now. And so if you add that figure to the current number of T shares, that gives you your maximum. Okay, so that makes sense?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so it's a theoretical number because it's never going to happen, right? But what it does is it gives you kind of this idea of how many T shares could exist ever, right? So what is the maximum number? And then it creates a little bit of FOMO for me as I start looking at it, because if we go to that chart, which I have here, and we open that up, we can see that in January of 21, that maximum was 116 million plus change, right? That's what the maximum was just about 2 years ago. Today, the maximum is right around 81, 82 million. Okay. So it's gone down like 40 million. If I get the math right, 116. So say 17 million plus 18 million. So what's that? 35 million. So it's gone down 35 million in 2 years. And so for anybody who, and this kind of goes to that question like Finbear was asking, so you want to figure out, well, what's the worst damage somebody could do to bring down the APY? Well, the worst they could do is stake as much as they have, right? And so that this number's coming down over time. So there's going to be fewer and fewer that could be created over time. Meanwhile, you have the actual T-share rate, which is going down as well, but it's not going down as fast, right? In the same period of time, it's not the same rate. And in fact, depending how you measure, it's pretty stagnant. You get 10.9 to say 10.3, right? So it's going down, but it's not going down as fast as what's possible. And so I wanted to compare the two of these, and you can look at the data here on the chart. And I just did the simple math for the delta, and you can see that over that same time period, the difference between these first two is going down, down, down at about the same rate as the max. If I can figure out how to do a better chart for this, I will. But eventually, this chart and this chart meet, right? So eventually, this rate of coming down, from the max, from where it's at today, about 81 million, gets closer and closer to to the actual, and that creates a bit of FOMO for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even now with the price down and everything else, a lot of people are, maybe thinking, okay, should I have made my longer stake, a year ago when I first got into Hex, or should I, put some capital in that I have now and make stakes? What's your, as far as T-shares and stuff go, when is the best time to make these type of stakes?
Well, a general statement is is yesterday. And if it wasn't yesterday, it's today is the best time to do it.
What does price play any factor in that as far as how many you can acquire?
Yeah, I think of course, because you have the fact that prices are down, and so if you were coming in with new capital, you have that opportunity to procure more. But I think that would only reinforce my idea that getting the stakes in now makes more sense than ever before, than instead of waiting. Now, of course, there's the argument of never stake, which I think gets to your straw man and argument type of discussion. But yeah.
I mean, we can pivot over there too if you want. And do you think some of these for the staking points, you want me to leave the hex fire up, or do you think we need it for some of these?
Yeah, we can leave this up for a minute. I guess, do we answer the question that Finbear had? Finbear was basically saying, hey, at what point can't the OA hurt us anymore? Is that what his question was?
Yeah, let me pull it up one more time. I think the share rate's going to yes. How long before the OA can't double the share amount with its liquid hex?
Yeah, I have to go take a look at that. Let's see. We know that there's at least a top end, and that once we get to the doubling point, meaning, let's say we were just static where we are now, around 10 million. So around 20 million, we can't double, right? Because it doesn't matter how much the OA has, because it can't double if the theoretical limit is already down to that size. So yeah, so that's exactly the point that he's making. Finbear, that based on the T-share rate going up in cost, there's going to be a point where it can't double, where the OA couldn't double. I'll have to work that number out and see. And maybe a long way out in the future.